So let's start with our demo. So here we have our bike rental app. So let's log in with a user first. So this is the sign in form, and if user tries to log in, then it should fill out the information, and there is some validation for these fields as well. So I have created a user called test bike. So let's log in with that user. And so here is the user dashboard for the user. So the user can see all the bikes available for reservation, and he can view the model, location, color and rating as well of each bike. The user can also filter out the bikes by models, for example Honda. So it will show all the Honda, and the records are highlighted as well. And can also and the user can also filter by location as well. So here you can see that you can filter out with the location as well, and similarly with the color as well. For example, black color. So these are the bikes with black color actually. So another cool feature is that the user can also filter out by rating. So you can click on this rating and it will sort out all the bikes with maximum rating to the top, and there is a pagination as well. So you can the user can also filter out in the descending order as well. So all the bikes with worst reviews will be on the top, and all the good reviews are at the bottom. So here are the filters for bikes, so that user can easily find the right bike for himself. And the next thing is that the user can actually create a reservation for any chosen bike. For example, this bike, if he want to create a reservation, he can click create reservation, and the create reservation from required a timeline or start or end time for the reservation. So let's select a date. So all the dates that are disabled are past dates, and also includes uh, the reservation for other users that are being reserved for this bike. So we cannot select these dates for this user. So let's for example select this date, and for example the user required the bike for 3 days, 21 to 23, and let's create OK and submit. So this will create a reservation for the user. As you can see, the reservation added. So if I now go to my reservations, you can see that the user now has a reservation for 21 to 23. So this is the reservation panel for each user, and user can view all the reservation he made, and uh, can perform multiple operations on this. So let me quickly go back, and so I created reservation for this bike. So if I now go and create another reservation, so you can see that these dates are now disabled because we have an active reservation on these dates. So these dates are no longer available for this bike for any user. So the user can also cancel a reservation by clicking a cancel button at the reservation. So since this reservation is not started yet, so the user can cancel any reservation before the reservation start time. So if I click cancel reservation, it will ask for confirmation, and you can click no for cancelling it, and you can also click yes. So this will cancel the reservation for the user, and as you can see that this is the cancelled flag. So this reservation has been cancelled for the user. So if I now go back and you know try another reservation, so now you can see that these rates are now available since there is no active reservation, and if there was any reservation, so that has been cancelled as well. So this is the cool feature right here. Another thing that user can do with reservation is that it can rate a bike. For example, this user made a reservation at 5 to 7 September. So this is the past, so this reservation has been completed, I assume. So this is the Honda CD70 bike. So this is Honda CD70 bike, and the user can rate this bike by selecting any value from 1 to 5. For example, if I select full star here, okay, and if it submits the rating, so now this bike has been reviewed and the user rating has been submitted for this bike and for this reservation. So this bike is now has 3 ratings, so it has changed as well. So this is the basic functionalities for the user. So now let's go to the manager dashboard. So let's log in with the manager, and this is the manager panel for where each manager can see all the bikes, and the manager can also filter out the bike with model, location and color and rating similarly as the user. And if you can see that we can filter out similarly as the user can. So here we can also filter out with location. Sorry, this location does not exist. So you can filter out by location and similarly with color as well. And the manager can also sort the bikes by rating as well. So this is a cool feature as well. And let's move to the okay. So the manager can also add a bike by clicking add bike button, and if he submits this, so there are some validations for this bike. And so if I try to enter any random string, so there are some validations I have added for to make sure that there is no invalid data has been entered. So let's create a bike, for example Yamaha 550, and let's add a location for this, Islamabad, Pakistan. And if I try to enter any random color, so this is not a valid color name, so there is some validations here. Since there were some assumptions, so I have added some validations. So now if I submit this, so the bike has been added, and you can see this bike has been added and it has a default rating for 5 star, right? So this bike is currently available by default, so it is now available for reservations. If I go to the user panel and I refresh the page, so this is the user panel, and now you can see that this bike is available for reservations. The next thing is that we can edit any bike. So if I click edit, so I can edit the information for this bike. For example, if I want to change 1000 to 550 to 1000 cc, and if I submit, so you can see that it has been updated here, and it will also be updated in the user panel as well. So this is a very cool feature as well. And another thing that user can do is can change the availability of this bike. So if I click this availability check, so availability updated, so it is no longer available. So if I now go to the user dashboard, as you can see that we have no bike called Yamaha, and if I try to search, so there is no bike here. So I can also change the availability back to available as well. So if I now go to the user panel, so we have the Yamaha bike now. Another thing an admin can do is can delete Yamaha any bike. So it will first confirm. If I say no, it will be cancelled, and if I say yes, then this bike will be deleted, so it will no longer be available in the user panel as well. Okay, so we have pagination as well, and yeah, so that's it for the manage bikes, and let's move on to the manage user. So in the manage user, the manager can view all the users in the system, and there there are multiple users that has been registered. The manager can only edit or perform operations on other user. It cannot perform operation on itself. So that's the section here. The manager can also filter out the users by their name. For example, test, all the users with name test. Can also filter out by email. So if I say test user, so can filter out with the email as well. And we can also filter out or sort the users by their role as well. So if I click this, so all the normal users are on top and the manager ones are at the bottom, and similarly if I go for the descending order, then all the managers are on the top. So we can filter out the managers with users as well. Manager can also add a user as well. So there are some validations in this form. So user cannot submit any valid data, and there are some validations as well. So let's create a user. So let's say John Pink, and let's say John Pink at bikes.com, and let's give him a password as well. Can view the password as well, and can also select if it is a manager or if it is not. So let's submit. It's a normal user. So now if you search for John, you can see that the user has been added, and I can go and log in with this user as well, John Pink at bikes.com, and I can enter the password. I can view the password and log in. So yeah, you can see that it has been added. So if I select this user, and by default it's manager, so if I select this unselect this manager, so the role of this manager has been changed. So if I now go back to the user, and if I say johnpig.com, so now it's now a normal user. So manager can change the role as well. The manager can also edit the user information as well. So there are some validations as well, and so you can change the name to, for example, John Ping to John Parker, let's say Johnson, right, and can submit. So yeah, so the name of the user has been updated as well. So you can also delete a user as well. So it will first confirm, and you can also delete by yes. So this user will no longer be available, and if I now go and try to log in with this user, so this user is no longer available. So that's it for the user. So let's move on to the reservations tab. So the manager can view all the reservation made by all the users, for example their name and their start time and end time for each reservation, and their bike name as well. You can see that we have pagination as well, right? So the manager can also view the status of this each reservation. So this reservation has been completed, but it is not been reviewed, and this reservation has been cancelled. And as you can see, there are some reservations that has been reviewed, so the user has given their review for this reservation, so it also has this status as well. And there is some reservation that are waiting for the review, so we also have this flag. So the reservation has been completed, but the user has not given any review, so we have this status as well. So here we are viewing all the user reservation. So the manager can also view the reservation for a particular user. For example, if you can select any user, for example, manager bikes. So all the reservation made by this users are now available for only this user. Can also uncheck and can select any other user. So this user has no reservations. And for example, John Parker. So John Parker has two reservations. So the reservations can be viewed by user and can be viewed by all the users as well. So this is the uh, overview of the manager panel. So let me quickly give you the overview of the sign up page as well. So sign up page has some fields that required for creating a user. So I can enter, for example, any username, and I can enter any email, and I can provide a password as well. So on the sign up and submit, so this will create a new user sign up, and currently this user has no reservations. So this is how the sign up works. So I think that's all for the user part. So yeah, that was the demo for the project.